What is wrong with everybody nowadays? I mean, is there any love left in our universe, huh?
Shut up, Dinger.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another very exciting episode, actually, of Two Corys Forever. I am your host. Find me at Staunch TV all over the place.
And I'm Ken at Black Maria Double LC.
And of course, we have to give a shout out to our sponsors, Tuna Bear Productions, who helps us out with the audio end of things whenever we go to Spotify and whatnot. This episode will be uploaded a little bit later out on all platforms, but for now, you can check it out right here on Staunch TV. And of course, PartyWave Stickers. Go check them out at PartyWaveStickers.com. These dudes are legit as hell. Go hit them up if you have an idea for a sticker, if you have a band, if you have, like, you know, you're making a movie or something, or if you just want a custom sticker of literally anything you can imagine. Hit up PartyWaveStickers.com and tell them Staunch sent you. And hit us up right now for your very own free sticker from the podcast. Hell yeah, man. I'm very happy that we're still doing these. This is the second episode. The first one was a smashing success. Thanks for everyone who listened and for everyone that reached out, because, you know, we did that sticker giveaway and whatnot. And so, yeah, a lot of people reached out, and those stickers are making their rounds, man. I have to get you some somehow.
Hell yeah. No, that's awesome to hear, man.
Yeah, dude. So, I mean, I know we're, like, as I stated last time, we're pretty far apart. You're out in Canada. I'm here in Texas. But that kind of makes for an interesting tale. Like, I get pretty jealous sometimes seeing the stuff that you get out there, Feldman related, or Two Corys.
Yeah, same. It goes both ways, man. Like,
it's like, god damn, man, that is so cool. I know, you know, we could probably put a picture on the video version of this, which is on Staunch TV over on YouTube. But, you know, if you're listening, hey, we'll describe it for you. It was pretty sweet, that VHS you got of National Lampoon that had the fucking leaflet in there.
that was just, yeah, off the cuff. Like, I thought, I don't even know where that came up, where I was just, why I was even looking for a VHS of that one, to be honest. But so it's like, oh, I might as well take a look. And then one popped up with the leaflet, and I thought, oh, that must be a common thing. And then looked into the other ones, like, these ones don't seem to have. Okay, I think I'm gonna snatch that up. And it was still in plastic too. It was like just crazy finds sometimes.
No,
but then we
shit,
miss
I've
out
never
on a
seen
lot
that.
more than we end up getting.
Oh, I know, man. Yeah, I've been in some like bidding battles with some assholes. If you're listening and you won some of the stuff against me, I hate you and I want horrible things to happen to you. We'll get around to that one eventually. And that brings me to, I know I wanted to eventually do a Two Corys Iceberg, either video or show or something. If anyone's listening and thinks that would be interesting, let me know what you think over on Instagram at Staunch TV, or, you know, hit up Ken as well. Let us know if you think that would be a cool episode, or, you know, what else you might want to hear, because, you know, you guys got to vote for this one, the one we're about to do, which is the Dream a Little Dream saga, one of the most interesting pair of films I think I've ever seen. One of the most insane, that's for damn sure.
One of the most tonally out of whack.
Yeah, man.
Jumps from the original to a sequel, for sure.
Totally, yeah. And, like, I'm glad that the listeners really did shout out on this one, because there was a lot of votes there, and it was a tight race at first. But, you know, I think everyone knows this movie. This is obviously like a classic film. You're the one that put it in perspective for me. I didn't even really realize it, that this is like the last of the big three. And if I'm sure the listeners know, but if not, you want to explain what that is, because anyone who's a Two Corys fan, you know, you already know.
Well, it's like, yeah, you start off with Lost Boys, and that was the first one that broke them on, but they were part of an ensemble at that point. Then you get to License to Drive, and that's really them at their full power, as far as, like, they're the leads of the movie, they're the driving forces, that they're at the top of their fame. Dream kind of starts out that way, and then it had a big drop off because of all the marketing mishaps. And
yeah, man, it's crazy.
And they kind of dropped off after that, and their fame just wasn't the same after Dream a Little Dream.
Yeah, that was the last time that they were, like, shot well together, and, like, you know, we're in a movie that looks like a classic film still. It has that classic 80s look. That's what I got to say about Dream a Little Dream. And like rewatching it recently, I found a lot of things I liked about it, because I'm pretty notorious on the channel and whatnot. Every time we come around talking about this movie, I'm always like, yeah, I don't like this one. Dream a Little Dream never was my thing. I put it. There's a few movies like I'm not much for Gremlins. I'm not much for Goonies. I'm not much for Dream a Little Dream. And but it's like I acknowledge Dream a Little Dream for what it is. It's like you have that iconic Corey's look, because it may have been the end of the big three or whatever, but this was like the iconic look between the guys, like that back to back. You know what I mean? You got Hamster with his red hair and the jackets, and they were full on with their style in this movie, and that says a lot, because overall this movie isn't very stylish or anything. It's, in my opinion, I always found it to be pretty bland. And for one of those movies, those movies in back in the day, in the 80s, early 90s, where there was like some sort of swap happen, like the Freaky Friday situation. And there was a lot of good ones, in my opinion. And I don't know, I kind of always thought that Dream a Little Dream may have been the worst one, because as the IMDb synopsis goes, an accident puts the consciousness of an elderly dream researcher into the body of a bratty teenager. The problem? The kid prefers dream world limbo to real life.
Bobby was just a normal teenager.
This wasn't supposed to happen.
Now, Bobby has 3 days to find himself.
So yeah, that's like, seems like a pretty simple, basic setup for one of these kind of movies, but it doesn't really go like where I thought it would have, considering, like, I don't know, what do you think about, like, what I'm talking about, like, there's like father like son, vice versa, those kind of movies like that. Like, where would you place this one, I guess?
Yeah, I was trying to
tier.
I was trying to remember the name of the Judge Reinhold one, because I only saw I think a couple of those, but I know there was 18 Again with George Burns. Like,
oh yeah,
there was a bunch of those during that period.
17 Again with fucking Matthew Perry.
17 Again.
Oh, there was also 18 Again. Yeah, I think.
Fuck.
And then but it's like those movies. Right, those movies I thought all had pretty funny parts in them. Like, they're overall comedies, you know what I mean? Like, they went out of their way to be a comedy movie, to be recognized as a comedy. And with Dream a Little Dream, I mean, it looks like you see the tape, you see the poster, and you're like, oh, this looks like a comedy, right? I mean, it really isn't, it's more of like, it leans.
It's one of those
heavy.
that wants to like, it wants to like have its cake and eat it too, where it's like,
yes, exactly.
Like,
totally.
It wants to be. It's one of those that, like, Mark Rocco definitely wanted to like set out to make something different and kind of heavy, but then he mixed. But then when you get Vestron involved and the two Coreys, and it's like, well, now this is a teen movie, so now we got to rework it for that marketplace, and it just kind of doesn't fit for what story he was wanting to tell.
No, not at all. Like, it's kind of off-putting. Like, I've always known this to be a two Coreys movie. And growing up, like, I would see it on cable or whatever, and be like, "Oh, awesome! It's a two Coreys movie." Boring, you know what I mean?
Really.
Like, and I was just like, "Where the hell is Corey Haim?" Like, the hamster just disappears,
Yeah, that's what I was struck with the last time I revisited it. Was just like, wait, he's barely in the thing, but yet he's on the poster. It's like sold as a two Coreys thing, but.
Yeah,
like, there's that whole story about how he even ended up in it, but like, it's just weird.
I think it's, what is it, like, I think he broke his leg before filming. Him and his mom got in a car accident or something like that, and now so they just put him in a cast in this film and just had him like literally limp around.
I think it was he was trying to teach his mom how to ride a moped.
Oh, okay.
I said, Mom, drive it, and she's afraid to get up on a horse, my mom. So she got on the bike and went around a one-way street. She did fine. There was a circle, and then she went around again and it crashed into a wall at about 35 miles per hour. And I broke my leg and had a huge hole in it, cut my face, got plastic surgery a little bit. And she just bruised her nose. She came out good off the whole thing, sold the bike, and they wrote it in the movie. It was like a fluke.
And which I guess kind of brings me to the soundtrack, which is actually pretty badass. What do you think about the soundtrack?
Oh, it's godly, dude. Yeah, I listen to it at least twice a day or once every other day or something like that. There's so many
Fuck
great
yeah.
tracks on that one.
There is, and like I don't even know like who the artists are or names of the songs or anything. I just always like type in, Dream a Little Dream soundtrack. I have a copy on cassette somewhere, and I used to jam that shit
Yeah,
in
I
the
got
car
one in
all the
front of me
time.
as well.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Those things, for whatever reason, I seem to come across pretty often. I kind of just leave them in the wild though for someone else. But the interesting thing about the soundtrack is I found this out while working on the documentary Corey Feldman, artist, the man behind the love, which I edited, which is directed by Jake Perry. It's available on Corey Feldman's box set right now on CoreyFeldman.net. But you can go get that and check out the documentary where he explains how his Corey Feldman's one of his, I believe it was like his first official single, um,
Yeah.
Something in Your Eyes, yeah, and how that was supposed to be in this movie, and it was supposed to be like the lead single and all that shit. But apparently they got it to the studio late, the recording, I mean the record label too late or some shit like that, or something happened. I don't know. I've heard a few different stories, but that's the gist of it. And so that apparently that was a big reason why the track didn't get out there. But I always kind of wondered,
Thank you,
like,
sir.
I always wondered, like, how well that track would have done because, goddamn, man, Something in Your Eyes is a banger, and like that really should have been on this fucking
Oh, it's a
soundtrack. It
great
should have
song.
been in the movie. Like, I feel like that track in particular. I think a lot of Corey Feldman's music was ahead of its time, but that one in particular, like, if I think of like The Weeknd or someone were to hear that track and like sample the hell out of it or redo it or something, it would be a huge hit today. Or even if Corey Feldman himself were to take it, go out and redo it or something, or get it out there more, because
Yeah.
that track is a shit and it's badass live too. Like seriously,
Yeah,
and it's. Well, go ahead.
it makes me wonder where it would have ended up in the movie. Maybe during the second montage where they repeat "Time Runs Wild." I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing. That's funny. It definitely would have been a montage, and Time Runs Wild does kind of pop up a bit too much. It's kind of like somebody's
Yeah.
baby in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's like it just keeps playing over and over.
It's a filler track.
Yeah, it's just so I think Something in Your Eyes would have just really fit in there. God damn it. It makes me angry that it's not in there sometimes. Like, we kind of have to mention, right, that Michael Damian, the man behind the song Rock On, prominently featured here. Well, he actually produced and co-wrote, if I'm not mistaken, the track Something in Your Eyes. And that track was, of course, popularized online some time back. And Corey, was just like a big fan of Michael Damian. They're working together. He was on the soundtrack. And so, yeah, I guess that's why we got the two Coreys and some of the other cast to appear in the Rock On music video. It's something that, I kind of always kind of forgot existed.
Forget about that music video, and it's like, I think it's mostly because it's never been on any DVD or Blu-ray release that I know of. Maybe maybe a foreign release. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's the interesting thing. I can't find anything really for info on that one. Can't even find out who directed it. Like the IMDb page is pretty blank.
Yeah, I think that may have been Mark Rocco that directed the music video, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say that Michael Damian talks about it in Corey's new documentary, Corey Feldman, artist, the man behind the love, which is available in Corey's box set, again, edited by yours truly.
Well, that's the thing is, weirdly enough, like he missed, what was it? He missed the deadline for the film soundtrack itself, and then he later missed the deadline for the actual album for the track to be included. But
Yeah.
yet there was still that 7-inch single that got a release in Canada, where I think
Yes.
the U.S. it was it Mike Reno's "Whenever There's a Night," I think, and the U.S. one, the B-side was the Otis Redding track, but for the
Oh, no
Canadian
shit.
release,
Yeah.
for some reason, it was "Something in Your Eyes."
Yeah, man, that is crazy. And those things are out there.
So at least it
I've
did
never
get
seen
out
one.
there. Like,
Yeah, I've never seen
yeah,
one
I
for
would
sale.
I would fall apart.
Yeah, I've never seen one for sale. I've seen Jake's, man. I've held it in my hands. I was like, dude, you're about to get jacked.
This
There's
thing
funny
exists, man.
there's some funny footage, man. There's some funny footage of whenever Jake first found that thing, and he took it to Corey's house, and he shows Corey. He's like, "Hey, check it out, man! Like I found one." And Corey's like, "Oh, dude, thank you. This is the best present ever." He's like, "Nah, man, that's not yours."
He tells that story in the book, I think.
Oh, okay, that's hilarious. Speaking of the book, I actually I've only read that thing one time. I actually have a hard copy on the way. I'm gonna read it again. Keep it next to the toilet. I'll be done in like a few days.
Such a great read, man.
Yeah, it really is. I see. For whatever reason, a lot of people seem to be picking up on that book. It's crazy. We also got Mickey Thomas showing up as like a teacher or
that's
something.
right.
He has a few scenes in the movie. I completely forgot about that, man. And he's also interviewed in Corey's latest doc, and he tells some funny stories. And pretty much like he was just involved with the movie, and they just said, "Hey, you want to do a cameo or whatever?" And so he did.
I forgot about that.
And those of you, of course, that don't know Mickey Thomas, well, he's the guy that did the "Dream a Little Dream" song for the movie. And funny story, man. Years later, just a few years ago, actually, Corey and Mickey redid the song. They redid "Dream a Little Dream," and they put it out on vinyl. And it was kind of like an homage, an anniversary thing, and they were paying respect to everyone who passed on, and et cetera, et cetera. And the song itself, man, the song is very strange. It's more of like a punk rock version of it, if anything. It's a little off tempo. It's a little strange. I don't know. It's a weird tune. But the record itself is this like confetti splatter vinyl. And it came from this record label out in Detroit called Jet Plastic Records. Now, I'll always tell people, because it took me over 3 years to get my record. And they just kind of they put the regular editions out there for everyone, but if you ordered the confetti splatter one, well, you had to wait 3 years, and it took forever. And let me tell you, man, like these people, they just like were completely unresponsive. They stopped answering my calls. They blocked me from all their social media. I was pissed, man. I was on all their posts. I made another account. I was getting back at them, and they came back with me like, "Hey, sorry, like we've been sick and whatnot." I don't know. It's this whole mix up. I know Corey likes messing with that label. Jet Plastic pops up. They do a lot of weird little specialty releases, so it is what it is. Didn't have nothing to do with Corey, but I'm just saying that was quite the journey to get my hands on this thing.
Yeah,
but
it's awesome.
but yeah, I
Yeah.
think as far as the movie goes, though, it's like I don't know. I found it pretty interesting. Like a lot of it makes as much sense as it possibly could, and I say that like with the whenever they finally switch, like they're doing like old people yoga in the yard or whatever, and Corey Feldman, like he runs into them, and they make the switch, and then it's interesting to see like Feldman go from this kind of poppy, I guess, bratty kid to an old like Coleman. He goes to Jason Robards, and he actually like carries himself a little different, and he starts wearing different clothes and stuff. And I thought that was pretty good. I thought Feldman was really good in that role when he's playing Coleman, And it's like it was pretty rare that you got a chance to see the guy act. Like, in my opinion, around this time, what was it? I mean, like Stand By Me, I guess, where he actually got to show his acting chops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, diving into a real performance.
Yeah, like he was
100%.
really good. He's really good in this movie, and you can tell he's really trying, especially when you watch like the interviews from the time and stuff. It's like the dude was full on, man, like full on, just like going for that shit, going for a young actor. Like I think there was a lot of jelly in them Dream a Little Dream donuts early on. It's just it was such a weird movie, man. Such a strange movie. And like the teen stuff too, it's like it's so 80s still, It's like I don't know, it feels like an older guy directing like teenage stuff. It's like there's some pretty harsh language, I believe, like the F bomb was dropped, and by F I don't mean fuck. The derogatory term, it was used, I counted 5 times, I think, which is fine.
5, holy
it's
shit. Okay.
like it's an older movie or whatever, but it's like, come on, man, pick a different insult, Mark Rocco.
It's like,
Christ.
yeah, I only remember the one with Haim, I think, when they're on the car together after the switch. That was the main one I
Yeah,
remember because it's actually like it gets a laugh out of you for even for being like, oh, okay. That was just-
yeah. That's their idea of comedy. Like what the fuck? It's just a little strange.
we're trying to market to kids, I guess. Throw that
Yeah,
word in a couple times.
for real. And one thing I noticed too, like Feldman going performance wise and stuff, is the dream stuff. Whenever Coleman visits him in the dreams, and Corey Feldman's there, like his half tuxedo and little red shorts, and like it looks like the place was toilet papered. I can't help but think that he's channeling some Pee Wee there,
Oh
straight
yeah, I
up.
could definitely see that.
Yeah, and him being a big Pee Wee Herman guy, it's not like that hard to think. Like he straight up listed Pee Wee Herman
Yeah,
as
big
one of his
stand-up fan in
influences.
general.
Yeah, yeah. And so he is totally like it's fun to see that because we talked last time about how he has real old Hollywood vibes, like old vaudeville kind of tendencies and shit. And here he kind of gets to put that on display.
Perfect sense of comedic timing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And here he gets to do that alongside some old school Hollywood actors. And like in my opinion, some of the stuff between he and Jason Robards and him and Harry Dean Stanton even, like it makes it pretty well. It makes it
Yeah.
they're watchable scenes more so than when they're separated. But whenever they're playing off each other with Feldman, it's pretty cool to watch. When you think like, damn, these dudes, they're just out in the middle of this neighborhood and Feldman's out here acting with these legends. You know what I mean? It must have been crazy. I couldn't help but think about that because the movie is done so real and so well. It's just kind of shot in this neighborhood. They post it up. There's a lot of natural lighting and shit. And whenever there's not natural lighting, they're going wacky with it. Like some of the glares and some of the lighting is just like, what is going on here? Like you never go too far into reality with this movie, even though it's pretty, based in reality. Like it's weird shit just happens. Like we have to talk about the gym dance scene, right?
Oh, the iconic dance scene, like which apparently like Feldman Feldman claims in I can't remember if it was the Blu-ray interview or the book. It was one or the other where he tells different stories. One he says it wasn't his idea, and then the other one he said, "Oh yeah, that was kind of my idea." But either way, it's an iconic piece in the movie for sure.
Yeah, and it's like so out of nowhere. And it's like in the movie is like, is there music playing, or are they just shuffling around? It's like one of those videos. And another thing I noticed is like Meredith Salinger cannot dance for shit.
Yeah, she didn't need to. We weren't paying
Yeah,
attention
she don't
to her
need.
dance moves.
She's Meredith Salinger. Yeah, but when she's dancing, it's like, oh my god, it's like Elaine and shit. It's like really just like kind of off. And for her to have her whole thing to be like this gymnastic, like overly real young teenage girl, like she was way more, I guess mature is the word, but I don't know, man. It's hard, like you said, when you're watching Meredith Salinger, like you just kind of look at Meredith Salinger.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think she was studying to go into Harvard at the time or one of those big Ivy League schools. So she was apparently not part of the party crowd of the Coreys and whatnot. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting, that kind of dynamic. And you can tell with their performances, they're coming from different planes almost. Like,
Oh yes, for sure. There's not necessarily a chemistry there, but it kind of works for the movie too because it's supposed to be a little off. Like this old guy in Corey Feldman's body. Like what the fuck? It's just all so weird when you think. I can't help but laugh just thinking about this movie. Like it's so stupid, and then it turns into like an after-school special for a little while towards the end. You get like the teen gun
I think
violence.
it's so
kinda-
heavy, man.
It's like, what are you doing, man? Like, what
The
the
moment he pulls
fuck?
the gun out, you're like, oh, this is a completely different movie now. Like,
Yeah, and it starts off with like a classic. Oh, this is an '80s prom scene. This is the big climax, right? No, they leave the prom. Shit goes down, and the movie just gets weird again. It's so strange, and it's like whenever the movie's finally over, I mean, the last thing I was thinking is that they're gonna try to make a sequel of this thing. And it's funny because when you think, like, I guess the whole dance in the gym, like considering that was an old man in Corey Feldman's body, it's funny to think that was Coleman. Like that was an old guy doing all those
well,
Michael Jackson moves.
Oh, I guess that was one of the aspects that Feldman found kind of hard with that dancing was like Mark Rocco wanted to have those nuances of you're an old man who doesn't know these current dances, like even before they have the in when Bobby tells him in the dream, like there's videos downstairs, go downstairs, watch them. So it was like that kind of
Yeah.
idea of oh, this is Coleman learning about dances from old videos, and then
Yeah,
him
like
just.
some of them
So it's
say
an interesting
MTV.
way to look at it when you take that into account.
Yeah, for sure. And like, yeah, I thought that was interesting too. Like, they just labeled the tape like Michael Jackson MTV or some shit like that. And so, hey, there you go. There's your explanation. You assholes wondering about this dance scene. You can learn a lot from
His
VHS. I'll tell you.
17th birthday party or something.
Yeah, and so I always thought that was fucking weird, man. And yeah, getting back to the Meredith Salinger thing, like it's like between Meredith Salinger and Nicole Eggert, it's like I like to think that there was like they had this like friendship, with the two Coreys, but I'm pretty sure like I
Hmm.
don't know. I think maybe Nicole Eggert, kind of hung out a little bit. I don't know, but I kind of feel like they were just business, like straight business. And at this time, like the dudes were kind of party animals, like in real life.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
there's stories about them, hanging out in this town with the locals and going to the bars and shit, and they're all like way too young. It's just insane.
Yeah,
And
there's a
when they're
photo of
promoting
like
this movie, go ahead.
yeah, there's a photo of Harry Dean had shown up to one of like Lala's parties. Lala Slotin, who's
Oh
also in the
yeah,
movie. I'll see
yes,
if I can find that and we'll include that here because that's a pretty funny picture.
yeah, yeah. We got to
Just
do that, and I
surrounded by
think like
Feldman and Haim. Yeah.
yeah, they were like smoking out with Harry Dean Stanton and shit. Like it was, it was just party time. It was party as usual, and obviously the guys had their issues. This must have been right around, the guy where it was just getting a little rough, like rough around the edges for him. Because as you said, this is kind of like, yeah, it really is the last time they looked really good on film together. Like I haven't seen the Blu-ray transfer or none of that shit or the 4K transfer, but I can only imagine it looks good. I watched it on VHS the other day, and it was like it still looked amazing.
Yeah, the Blu-ray is great. Anybody who's on the fence about grabbing that Vestron release, definitely pick that up.
When it comes to Mark Rocco, I'm not necessarily a big fan of his or anything. Like I liked what was the other flick he did where the day takes you, I think it was called. It's interesting to see, like, you have these directors and these actors. I mean, Harry Dean Stanton, that's fucking awesome. And that kind of puts Harry Dean Stanton in this weird little class where he was like this older actor who kind of was always working with these younger actors, like it's weird.
Yeah, he
Like
just
he
likes
was
to
in
work. Like,
yeah, he was. That's true. He was in a lot of shit, so I guess it's gonna come and go. But like, it was weird because he was alongside like Brat Packers and shit, like Emilio Estevez, obviously in Repo Man, like directly
yeah,
with
Pretty in Pink.
like straight apart, and Pretty in Pink, of course. Yeah, with Molly Ringwald, and now here he is with the two Coreys. I mean, goddamn, the guy was making his rounds in the '80s with all the stars, all the teen stars, and there's probably more out there. I can't remember, So it's like it is very much an iconic movie. It is a classic two Coreys film, even though it's barely a two Coreys film.
Like you came to appreciate certain aspects of it that you didn't before, kind of like I found that when I revisited it because
Yeah,
I wasn't huge on
totally.
it as a teen, but it's like as an adult, it's like oh they were trying something. It doesn't really work, like especially with
Yeah,
the all that was cut out and what happened to the editing and whatnot. But
for
it's like
sure,
yeah, I
man.
can see what you're going for.
Yeah, it got really weird. Like there's like just everything you want in this movie. You got drama, you got some supernatural stuff, you got a little bit of comedy, I guess. You got your after school special stuff kind of going on. You get some fight scenes. Like I mean Feldman, I noticed Feldman uses he must have learned it on set, and then later on in a dangerous place he reuses the same little like hip toss thing he does when he's kicking ass playing football. I was like, oh, you son of
Oh
a
shit.
bitch, I see what you did there. You're taking it over. So you really do get a little bit of everything with this one. As for the sequel, I don't know. Because the sequel is fucking weird. But before we get to the sequel, I do want to. We're gonna chat a little bit, but first, let's hear a word from our sponsors. PartyWave Stickers, who produces high-quality outdoor durable graphics and stickers that are guaranteed to make your idea stick. You can place an order online 24/7 at partywavestickers.com. Stickers can be a great way to tell your story, as you know. You personalize your products or advertise your brand. So whatever the idea, they would love to hear it. PartyWave Stickers is based out of Corpus Christi, Texas, and they ship stickers throughout the United States.
And with that, we're happy to announce we've partnered up with PartyWave to make our first set of exclusive stickers for the new podcast. Best part, all you have to do is follow our podcast, like us on Instagram
At staunch_TV.
and at Black Maria LLC. DM us with your mailing address and we'll ship you one free. You heard that right, free. Limited supply, so get them while they last.
At staunch_TV.
And at Black Maria LLC on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Right now, I'll give you my private number. You call that number, and you'll hear a recording, and I'll give you my personal number if you call that, and we'll wrap.
So that was one thing that I think that we didn't jump into on the last episode was like how we got into the guys initially.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It feels like for me, it was like, I can't remember the first time I put two and two together. It was just like growing up with their stuff and it just became like, oh, that guy's in that movie and that movie. Well, I like both of those. I got to find more with that guy in it kind of thing. Like, as a kid, that's usually how it works. You're not picking up on names or directors or it's like, yeah, I don't know. I can't pinpoint what the first one was though. Maybe Goonies for me.
Oh no shit. Yeah, I guess that's not too hard to believe. I mean, Goonies was a big movie for a lot of people, especially when you're growing up or whatever. But I didn't see Goonies till actually way later. It was one of those movies I always knew existed, but when me and my little kid brain, I was always like, "What? No, Goonies sucks. I like Ghoulies." So
I have a choice of either at the video store. I'm going with the guys coming out of the toilet.
Yeah, like I'm gonna pick Ghoulies every time, you know. So it was so stupid. I don't know why, but I don't know, dude. Yeah, it is one of those things. You just kind of grew up and they were always around. Like I can't remember not knowing who they were, but if I had to go back, I would say my very first time seeing Corey Haim in anything was watching Silver Bullet as a kid. That's when I remember like seeing him and recognizing him later in like I think it was Lucas, because I saw those pretty close by there, real young. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, here we go. This is this kid Corey Haim. And then obviously I think after that was when I realized that the whole two Corys thing. I mean, I was about 10 years old when I picked up on it. That their movies are out there, because I was around 10 years old whenever I first saw Lost Boys. And so then that's when I realized the whole Mania thing happened and all that. But of course, by that point, I was already a huge Corey Feldman fan. I mean, that guy was always in, like, being a kid watching Gremlins. And then recognizing him as the kid from Friday the 13th, you know. Because
Exactly.
thankfully to my parents, we had cable when I was younger, and they let me watch all that shit. So I was able to like fully immerse myself in all that, and then seeing Stand By Me, and then hearing the voice. I remember knowing that Donatello was Corey Feldman, watching the tape when I was little. You know, I was like, hey, that's that guy. You know. That's
exactly.
Yeah, and then I fell in love with Rock and Roll High School Forever when that came out. So like it's just they've always been around, and to me the reason they stuck around, the reason that I, aside from again having cable, their movies were pretty much everywhere, and then being a video store kid, their movies were literally like all over the place. They were just always the coolest motherfuckers, And you see, and that's like the lingering thing that why I'm a fan today. It's I got into the guys because they're basically always around when I was a kid, and I loved all their movies.
Yeah.
And hey, what can I say? I'm a loyal fan. If you're listening, please let me know out there. Again, you can find me at Staunch TV on Instagram. I'm now on TikTok. Check me out on TikTok. and of course Facebook and YouTube. Where can they find you, bud?
I'm over at on Instagram and YouTube at Black Maria LLC.
Yeah, and you remember, guys, if you hit us up right now, you get a free sticker and some other free shit. So go do that.
All right, listen. I'm trusting you guys, okay? Don't make me do anything stupid.
So I guess that brings us to the sequel, Dream a Little Dream 2. Jesus fucking Christ. You want to tell us a little bit about that, man?
Well, the IMDb synopsis here is a little bit more descriptive than the last one, the first movie. Dinger and Bobby's adventure. Wait.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like worded
Jesus Christ.
stupid.
Fuck, that fucked me up. Digger and Bobby's adventure starts when a pair of magical sunglasses arrive at the door. Their mundane lives in LA get a crazy twist, but soon enough, they've got thugs on their trail who want the valuable pair for themselves. Under hot pursuit, it's one crazy antic after another as the troublesome twosome scramble to keep their hot commodity out of the wrong hands. You can tell a fan wrote that description.
Yeah, no shit.
Corey Feldman. Whoa! And Corey Haim.
You're not gonna believe this. Sorry.
Who really hit it off in the hit Dream a Little Dream, are hilariously reunited and discover Robin Lively
I'm not into this kind of a thing.
in Dream a Little Dream 2.
Here we go again. Whoa. What? This is too weird. Oh, yeah. Pair of sunglasses. Really strange.
Wow.
Major head rush. Nice colors. All right. Seems like whoever's wearing one pair will do what the person wearing the other pair wants them to do. Don't make me do anything stupid.
I wouldn't have came up with that one, but that pretty much does it. I forgot there is like a pair of bumbling idiots that are after the guys this whole time, which gives us some exciting shit. I think there's some exciting chases in this movie, from what I remember.
There's a good one, yeah.
I like that too. How they call them the troublesome twosome. That's great. Yeah, man. So Dream a Little Dream 2. That's why I'm saying there's got to be that's the connection. Is that in the beginning of Dream a Little Dream that they're wearing shades and they're playing The Future So Bright I Gotta Wear Shades. Dream a Little Dream 2. 6 years later in the future, 6 years in the future, and everyone's wearing shades. And it's one hell of a low budgeted affair, I've got to say. This one was like that perfect late night movie. I remember watching this late night on I think it was USA Up All Night or something like that. They showed Meatballs 4 and this as like a double feature.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's a great double.
Yeah, you're telling me. It was crazy. That was definitely the first time I saw both of those movies. And Dream a Little Dream 2, I remember for whatever reason, Dream a Little Dream 2 used to show a lot just like on cable late night. I don't know if it's the slight Skinamax vibes that it has, or what the deal was. Cinetel had a deal with late night Cinemax or something. I don't know. Very weird stuff.
It's definitely like up there with I'd say Gremlins 2 as far as like wacky sequels where they take a complete left turn.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I think I caught this one fairly late actually, where it I think maybe I found the Echo Bridge DVD that you could find online pretty easily, and it was like, okay, well, where is this movie? And then I eventually found it at like one of those bargain grocery store like DVD bins, like $5 each. I was like, what the fuck? Of all the movies to find in this thing,
that's awesome.
And it was every bit as whacked as I would have expected.
Yeah, because this was another movie I kind of just grew up with because it was on all the time. And it's funny because back in those days, shit was just on TV. If you didn't catch what it was called, you're just kind of out of luck, especially if it was late night and you weren't planning on staying up all night. So I always knew there was this weird ass movie where the two Coreys are like putting on glasses and doing weird shit, and that there's this amazing dance scene in the kitchen. Like that was just always
that's
like something I always knew about. I was like, okay, that movie exists. One day I'm gonna figure out what that was or what the hell. And like obviously something is wrong here, like something happened to them after License to Drive. Like they went downhill or something. This is like before I put all the pieces together, you know.
I gotta look more into this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like such a weird time for the guys, acting wise. Like goddamn, I know Corey Feldman. By this point he was doing stuff like like Lipstick Camera. I think he maybe did Redline around the same time. Ironically, I think 95. This is the same.
I think that one was after. Yeah.
Was it? Okay. This is around. He would have already done Maverick by this point, which I always thought was weird. It's like Richard Donner just threw him a bone.
Yeah, that's one of the weirdest. Yeah, one of the weirdest cameos in any movie I've seen, where it's like, give him a line, which is cool. Like,
yeah, it's very weird. He's just like in the movie for some reason, and it's like, holy shit, that's Corey Feldman, you know? I mean, at this point, Corey Haim, I mean, he was, you know, I guess I would say that he was probably in the grips of like the worst parts of his like initial addiction, I guess I would say, you know, because I think at this point, I don't think he was looking too good in this film, if you ask me. It's not like he didn't look healthy, put it that way. And I think around this time, like this was this must have been right after Fast Getaway 2, I'd imagine. And I know there was like a lot of stories about that. And I mean, you watch Fast Getaway 2, and the guy looks so disinterested. And in Life 101, I know he had a rough time on set there. So it was just like a kind of a dark period for him. And it's sad to say that because, like, I feel like almost the guy's whole later career was a dark period, you know, when it comes down to it, if you're looking at it like that. So it's like with these more fun movies, I kind of like to take what I like about them out and try to avoid, you know, the look in Hamster's eye a lot of the times. Because, like, especially here, I think Hamster's pretty fun in this movie when he's on screen, because he kind of gets sidelined again. I don't get it. Like, these Dream a Little Dream movies.
Yeah, this one's. This one started out as a vehicle for both of them, but he still gets sidelined, like for the last third or whatever. Like,
yeah, he just like eventually, like in the middle of the movie or something, like I think he gets locked up or something, and he's just gone.
Oh yeah,
like,
he's in jail.
Finale. Yeah. And you just don't get enough of the guy. Like, at least with the first one, he had his like little monologues, and like the Dream a Little Dream 2 really didn't go out of its way to be a Dream a Little Dream movie. You know what I mean? I didn't really get the feel that this was Bobby and Dinger. Or
oh yeah, they're totally different characters. Like, it doesn't feel. There is no connective tissue whatsoever, other than they have the same names and they're played by the same dudes.
And I guess it makes sense. I mean, you're a teenager. 5-6 years later, you're probably going to be completely different, right? I guess. So if you look at it,
it's possible, but it's like,
you look at it through those glasses. No pun intended. It kind of makes sense, you know. But I don't know. It's just not my thing. Like Bobby didn't seem like he really learned anything. Like, that was a pretty crazy ass fucking experience you had there, you know, dealing with, you transferred bodies with an old guy and shit. And his whole thing is to just move to Hollywood, and he just wants to make money now, you know? It's a little weird.
He's like a snooty asshole, and it's like, didn't you learn something?
No shit. Like, what the hell? You just left Meredith Salinger? Like, where's she at? And then you got Dinger, which, I mean, at least they made him a kind of like a hippie kind of guy. He's like kind of scammy and shit.
That feels the closest out of the two, but it's still like,
They could have gone out of their way a little bit. They could have gave him like a broken arm this time or something. Like, Dinger, you're still messing up, you know? You're
always getting fucked up.
Yeah, you're always fucking yourself up. Or like give Hamster like the monologue shit again. Just sit down and film them, and then fade in, fade out every now and then, you know?
Or I imagine maybe that was to do with like his addiction stuff at the time. Well, this isn't gonna work. We're gonna have to write more for Feldman and Robin.
Yeah, maybe they did have more to film with them. No shit. And that might have been a thing, because I mean, a lot of those scenes, like, they're just kind of lounging around and shit, and Hamster's just kind of back and forth, and they kind of made Dinger like more of like a fool this time around. He's more of the fodder. doesn't really, no one really
Yeah,
takes him
exactly.
seriously. It's like, oh, Dinger over here. No, Dinger does it again, you know, like kind of a thing. But at least they gave him some character. And shout out to Dinger, man. It's cool. I don't know if you're familiar with the band Catherine Wheel, but he has a poster on his wall in his bedroom, and I think like a ride poster, like these old shoegaze bands. Whoever was like the set designer, like decided to throw him a bone. In one of these scenes, there's a poster for Green Day's Dookie, which is pretty cool because if you follow the guy on Instagram, he recently got to jam
On
out
Instagram, yeah.
with Billy Joe, yeah. So it's like the Green Day thing came full circle, and it's pretty. And I gotta say, man, if we're talking women of the two Corys, or you know whatever, I gotta say, man, Robin Lively. I know she didn't do too much with the guys, but Jesus Christ, man, she may be at her peak right here in this one.
Well, she's as if we're talking women of the two Corys, like she's one of those deep lore, deep cut women. When you know the backstory of Feldman had the crush on her, and then Haim swooped in and started dating her, like back in the early days when they were coming up, like 85, 86 or whatever. I think she appeared in an episode of Roomies, a failed sitcom, Haim, Burt Young.
Yeah. Yeah,
so it's interesting to see that they now come full circle, and now they're doing a movie together. It's like, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and I know that was kind of a point of contention, the little love triangle and whatnot.
Yeah, you can feel it's palpable because it fucking happened. Like you can feel it in the air when you watch that one.
Yeah, and it's weird because like it's more like Robin Lively has more to do in this than Hamster does. And of course we got to mention, if we're talking the Lively crew, we had Jason Lively, of course, in Rock and Roll High School Forever. We gotta acknowledge that one. Donovan. So you got the whole
That's right.
Lively crew jumping in. I'm always Robin Lively is always going to be Teen Witch to me. Always a big Robin Lively fan.
Yeah, I still need to see that one.
Yeah, and I think if we're talking chemistry, oh, you definitely got to see that one. If we're talking chemistry, I mean, it kind of comes across here that they seem more friendly, if anything, you know, between Feldman and Robin Lively, because Feldman, of course, you know, he's gonna go for the Playboy model, the 90s thong blonde, you know, the brunette, whatever she was, and wind up tied to a bed.
Oh yeah, Stacey Randall.
Yeah, and so that was another thing in this movie where I was like, oh, that's that movie where Feldman gets tied to the bed and Robin Lively walks in on him or whatever. So it was just these weird snapshots I had of this film before I knew what it was.
Putting together the pieces.
I know there's like a few weird things. Like I don't till this day the movie kind of trips me out. Is like, what exactly how do these glasses work? You know, there's not really a rule book. It's like if I put them on, and the other guy you control the other person, but can you make him do like literally whatever you want him to do, or how do you tell the glasses apart? Little like things like that. Where the fuck did Coleman find these things?
Yeah, they play into that a little bit in the ending, from what I remember, where it's like which glasses are actually which, and who has the right one to control the other.
Yeah,
which I kind of dig. It adds that level of tension you're there.
Yeah, they're trying to make it does give it a little bit of tension. That's true. The whole ending scene, it's one of my favorite scenes. I love that shit. And it's like I think Stephen Mason from Lonely Tree Entertainment, he's the one that pointed this out to me. He's like, yeah, there's that scene where there's a chase scene on the side of the building and they're going up and down and whatnot, but the tree never gets any taller or shorter. the palm tree or whatever.
Oh my god.
And I saw that building.
I never noticed that. I gotta go back.
Me neither.
And see
That's how he pointed it out. And we're out in Hollywood and we drove by that building. I was like, oh wow, that's the Dream a Little Dream chase scene. The thing's like fucking 3 stories, not even. It's like, whoa, that's movie magic, right? And then I drove by the Citadel building too, like the old Citadel building. That was pretty cool. Oh yeah, it's right around here actually. And we drove by it. It was like boarded up.
Holy shit!
The lettering was taken down, but you can still see it. You know what I mean? Like 'cause it was up for so long. It was very cool. It was like, oh man, so much cool shit happened in those offices. Oh man, I miss it. But yeah, this movie, man, what a fucking wild ride. I gotta say, like, if we're comparing it to the original, again, okay, the ties are they spend about a minute, if that, talking about like, oh hey Coleman, this and that. You had an experience with Coleman, blah 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 blah, and that's it. That's literally it. If there's anything else that ties this to the original, it is a dance scene coming out of fucking nowhere.
All right, listen. I'm trusting you guys, okay? Don't make me do anything stupid.
And that one
All-time
definitely
favorite
feels
song.
like a Feldman inclusion. Like,
Yeah, which of course, I think Feldman was like, okay, this time I'm not going to be late, and I'm going to get my songs on the soundtrack, and this shit is going down, and I'm going to be a in-name producer or whatever it was, and he got his record label, like,
yeah,
to do his singles, and we get, I believe from what I remember, we got Perfect Woman and Feeling Funky. I don't know if there was any other Feldman tracks in that one.
I think those are the two. Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was part of the deal, from what I remember. Was all right, I'll sign on and do this, but you got to include some music for my album and let me be a
Yeah.
co-producer.
And that's something I wish you would
yeah,
have done
man.
all the time. Yeah, I'm down. I like a lot of that shit. And those two tracks in particular, Perfect Woman is a pretty damn fun song. And it's like that classic Feldman, man. Like, the dude, he meets a girl, he likes her a lot. Bam, he's gonna write Perfect Woman. He's with a woman. He's with a woman that is being a little sideways with him. Bam, Deceptive Deborah. It's like he's just bringing that heat, man. And god damn, I Feeling Funky is one of my favorite songs, like, in general. It's one of my favorite songs from him.
I legitimately, yeah, I legitimately listen to that at least once a day. Like,
Dude,
even if
yes.
it's just in the background doing
Fuck
something.
yeah.
Like,
Yes,
it's just such
me
a good
too.
one.
It is. That was my motivation when I was editing the movie out in Hollywood. I would jam that shit every morning. I fucking love it. And the
Hell yeah.
scene in general, like, Feldman talks about it. He's like, yeah, man. So I made a deal, and we're gonna have my songs involved in the movie. And he's like, it was a smaller movie, whatever, but it was a way for me to get my stuff out there. And he's like, yeah, they said, hey, well, why don't we do a dance scene? And I was like, okay. And they're like, well, how are we gonna fit that into this movie? It's not really a way to do it. I'm like, oh, we'll come up with something. And then he was like, okay. And,
Oh, God.
and here we go with this kitchen thing, and he did the whole kitchen dance scene, which I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that. I feel like maybe this time it was definitely his idea to have the whole dance sequence, because it was just too good. Like, I feel like the dude had that planned. He was like, oh yeah, I got a red jacket out in my car, or something. And they just made it happen, because it was just too perfect. It was too perfect.
He fucking kills it in that scene, man. Like, it's now, because I know it's kind of a meme for most people of like, is this random dance scene, but he's fucking killing it in there with those moves.
Yeah, no shit. But yeah, I thought I have to say, like, I feel like that was his idea, because like around this time, we were seeing a lot more dancing from Feldman in movies that seemed random every time. They never managed to really fit it in for a reason. Like, come on, like, they could have done, like, in a Meatballs 4. In Meatballs 4, he just dances. He busts out in a dance scene.
At least with Meatballs 4, it like they're at a party, so it feels like the scene kind of has some reason for a dance to happen.
Yeah. Like, he's the badass ski instructor. Nobody knows he's also a world-class dancer. He has to show everybody. This movie in particular too, it's like it goes a lot of weird places. It doesn't really try to there's, like you said, there's nothing binding them together. Like, I don't understand exactly what was happening about half of this fucking movie, if I'm being honest. The bumbling bad guys that look like they belong in Beethoven or something. But I do like that aspect that gives it a little bit of comedy. I like how they managed to fit some
Right.
TNA in there. Either way, it all seems kind of uncomfortable for Robin Lively, but it's just like such a weird
Leo Rossi's
late
great
night.
cameo.
Oh yeah, Leo Rossi's in it. Just like straight out of Fast Getaway, what 2, I guess. Like, it's just so weird, and it looks like Feldman's wearing that same jacket that he was wearing in Red Line, if I'm not mistaken. Which I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I think
Was
it
that
is the
a?
same one.
Yeah, and I think those are all Cinetel films, if I'm not mistaken. I know. I think the Fast Getaway movies were.
Yeah, Fast Getaways were. And you
Yeah,
got
and then
what's his name? He was also Cynthia Rothrock's sidekick in those movies. He
oh
pops up.
yeah.
I think he's at the restaurant or something.
No shit. And
But
then
yeah,
let's
like
see, the director of this one was I think a
James
DP or
Lamoe.
something on the
Yeah,
Relentless movies, and Relentless, those movies were done by Cinetel. So it's just like this whole Cinetel family. It's pretty cool.
yeah, that's mainly where I know James Lamoe from is as a DP. He did stuff like Madman and Ms. 45 and
Oh,
Vigilante for
okay.
Bill Lustig, who went on
Yes.
to direct Relentless. So it's like,
Oh, okay,
oh,
there
I
you
can see
go.
that how
Yeah.
that kind of connection happened. Like,
Yeah,
it's still a
exactly. Yeah.
random movie for him to direct, but
Yeah, totally. And I love how they just kind of recycled like all of this talent. That just like, okay, you start off here, you get to direct, and then blah blah blah, and then it's like, what do you get out of it? Dream a little dream too.
one of the wackiest sequels to ever exist. Like,
Seriously, man. And it's like this movie also doesn't end, lending to another sequel, but I gotta say, I want to see where they would have taken part 3. Because at this point, why not? Why there should have been a part 3. They should have just done it. They're already on the video store shelf style. I don't know. I guess the guys weren't necessarily a hot commodity around then, because it was kind of downhill, I'd say, for a while. Like after this was what their second to last film together, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. This
Um,
was like the last of a 3-picture deal they apparently got together when Haim got with Feldman's agent, and then they had a
oh,
contract of like, well, we want you guys to do 3 movies together, and this was the last of those 3.
okay, okay, that makes
So I think,
sense, right?
and then
Yeah,
Busted was after this, I think. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that deal gave us some good shit. That's why we got blown away. I'm assuming.
yeah. Blown Away and Last Resort were the first 2.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. I can't wait till we get to blown away and some of that other later stuff. I think this next
Yeah,
time around, like I want to hear about what more of the guys have to say, whatever more of the listeners have to say. Maybe we'll let them vote again soon. But I know the next episode that we were talking about doing, I think that one's going to be a lot of fun. Those are some personal favorites of mine. Just to touch on real quick, it looks like we're going to be going to the academy.
well, that one would be South Beach Academy and Snowboard Academy.
Woohoo!
Snowboard Academy is one that I absolutely loved when I first saw it because I've always been a big Ernest guy, and it's
Yeah,
more or less
fuck
just
yeah.
an Ernest movie with Hamster. So it's like, fuck yeah. South Beach is another story, but we'll get to that when we get to that episode.
Yeah, man, that's what.
That was pretty rough.
Yeah, that's why. That's a big reason why I wanted to do this shows, because I wanted to talk about these weird ass two Corey's movies, the stuff that they did that is really like definitively they should be on like the weirdest movies of all time list. A lot of this stuff, I swear to God, it should they have a solid spot on there. They deserve trophies. And it's crazy to think like,
These guys had balls, man. Like,
yeah, for real. And like sequel wise, it didn't occur to me until earlier. Like I always just kind of had it in my head that the guys didn't really do too many sequels, right? But it's like Feldman really did kind of fuck around with a lot of sequels. Like it's pretty strange. Like I mean, I guess
Yeah.
to start off with, just Rock and Roll High School Forever. You know, I mean, a sequel to one of the biggest cult movies ever, which is just, and to kick off like your first
Well,
movie.
before that.
Uh-huh.
Before that, we got Friday. Before that, we got Friday 4 and 5, and
Oh, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You can't. Yeah, exactly. We can't forget about that. So it's like the guy's popping up in these fucking franchises, these established movies, and he's in these sequels, and it had nothing to do with the original, like right off the bat. With of course, I mean, I can't believe I forgot about Friday the 13th, and then an iconic role, Jesse Davis in Rock and Roll High School Forever. Fucking love it. One of my all-time favorite movies. That's gonna be a fun one. But then, I mean, Meatballs 4. Then he popped up in Ninja Turtles 3. And then Dream a Little Dream 2, of course. And I always kind of, I don't know. I know this might be pushing it, but Bordello of Blood, you know, it's sort of a continuation.
yeah, it counts. Yeah,
Of
it's in
Demon
that.
Knight.
Yeah, it's like
They have the
I would
key.
usually wrinkle my nose at that, where it's like, yeah, there's ties. It counts.
Yeah, it's close. It's close.
It's close
And then
enough. Yeah.
you got Citizen Toxie, which is another one.
I always forget
and
he's in that. Like,
yeah, for some reason. And then I mean, canon, not canon. You
great.
got the Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, which, and then that's not counting the Lost Boys sequels. You know what I mean? So it's like
Oh yeah.
the guy was in a decent amount of sequels here. It's and then if things are actually gonna finally happen, I don't know. I don't know if we're ever gonna get a Goonies sequel or not, but that would be interesting. Yeah, no, yeah, that's a long rumored film. But I don't know. Out of all of those, what I really want is a Dream a Little Dream 3. And I wish they would have done that, man. I know it'll probably never happen now, but I gotta wonder if they ever had some weird idea. And I doubt it, but I like to think. But
Well,
overall, man,
let's go off
ahead.
on this. Let's go off on this tangent for a second.
Yeah,
Say 2 had been more successful than it was, and then maybe the late 90s came along, and they're like, all right, we want to do a third one. Would you have wanted a continuation with the classes or something completely different?
you see, I don't know. I would probably say something completely different, like or Return to the Well, like somehow bring back some elements from that first movie. But if I'm being real, yeah, totally different. Change it up. Maybe they go to Mexico or something, you know, like just really,
Yeah, that's what made
really
2
ramp
so
it up.
great was that's what made 2 so great was that kind of tonal switch of
Yeah,
2 completely
totally.
different kinds of movies and stories. So
And it's like, what girl could have been the girl in part 3 if they would have done it? Like, who would have been popular enough around that time? Like, popular enough, but
Yeah,
not popular enough. It's popular enough, but on that
not
level.
too popular. Yeah,
Like a Lark Voorhees or
it's
something.
like that chick from Candyman 3. Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
what's that one?
Yeah, definitely probably would have been one of those like that chick from was it Wishmaster 2 or whatever, one of those, whatever girl Hamster was fucking at that time, I'd imagine.
It's a good time. Like, of the 2, if I'm, hey, I want to sit down and enjoy something, of the 2, I'm going to put on the sequel over the first one, even though I do
no shit.
appreciate aspects of that one.
For sure. Right on, man. Well, hey, everyone listening, shout out to PartyWave Stickers. Everyone listening, if you want a free sticker, all you got to do is hit us up. You can find me at Staunch TV over on Instagram. I'm on TikTok now. Staunch TV on YouTube. You can watch the video version of this podcast. If not, you can find us where podcasts are available. And of course, you can contact Ken as well. Where can they find you, buddy?
And you can contact me over at Black Maria LLC on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Hell yeah. And of course, message us. Let us know if you want a sticker to the podcast. And please, guys, like, comment, subscribe, all of that great shit. We have a pretty sweet podcast coming up next. The next one's going to be a lot of fun. But you will be able to vote eventually for the next episode over my community post on YouTube. So be sure to get your ass down there as well. And guys, also go and check out Dream a Little Dream 2. And another thing I plan on doing later, once we get some more momentum going, is over on the channel. I want to do some watch-alongs with you guys, where y'all can join me and Ken, and we can actually watch some of these weird-ass movies, because it's going to get pretty weird.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's going to get weirder than Dream a Little Dream 2, but it's still going to get pretty weird in the 2 Corey saga. So, until next time, I'm your host, Staunch TV. Go and like, support the fucking podcast. Get this out there. We have to keep the 2 Corys alive.
Well, this is Ken. I hope you guys enjoyed listening, and stay tuned for the next episode. Grab some stickers.
Later, guys. Peace.